Well, good afternoon again. I want to thank everyone that is here today. I really appreciate you taking time out of your very busy schedule to learn more about SACAC Leads. My name is Megan Rolfe. I'm the Director of Recruitment at Winthrop University, and I currently serve as one of the co-chairs for SACAC Leads. I really love SACAC, and I've had a lot of opportunities to serve. I was able to serve on the SACAC board, as a state chair in South Carolina for both government relations and state area initiatives. I was involved in the counselor drive-in and the application workshops, as well as have been a presenter and volunteered at the annual conferences. But today I'm really excited to share all of the benefits and opportunities of being a part of SACAC Leads and answer any questions you have.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lorenzo Myers. I'm currently serve as co-chair with Megan. I'm just wanted to let you guys know that we're excited to have you guys here with us today. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, been in admissions now for over 11 years. Been a part of SACAC Leads as a participant, and then last year was my first year jumping on board as a co-chair. Also, as well, have a presented at the annual conferences. Also, as well, recently won the President of Excellence Award at SACAC at this past annual conference. But we're excited to have you with us today. And just know, as a disclaimer, this is not where we're like interviewing you or, choosing who we want for the program now. This is just an opportunity for you guys to learn more information about what is SACAC Leads, the benefits of the program, highlights of the program, and then we'll have guest presenters speak as well, who've been a part of SACAC and who are heavily involved within SACAC. But thank you guys for being with us. So we want to start off with this slide. The title is Leading in Impact. So lead with impact and not just title. I want to share this with you guys because many people think that when you have a leadership role, that it's all about the title. But here within SACAC Leads, we want you to know that even though you may not have a title, you're still a leader in so many ways. Just to share a little snippet of my story when I was selected for SACAC Leads. When you get admitted or accepted into the program, you get a list of like all the participants and the faculty members. And when I opened up my email, I seen that there were so many individuals who were participants who had a leadership role. And I didn't have a leadership role, so I was a little intimidated. I was like, wow, like, do I belong at this table or do I belong at this circle? And then the second session of class, we had like our debrief, and I spoke up and I said, hey, like the first day of classes, I was just intimidated because either someone had an associate director title or assistant director or CFO of a IEC. And so I was like, wow, like these people are there and I'm not there. I don't have a title. And Bartley and Arlene mentioned to me that this class was chosen for a reason. And both of them told me that leadership doesn't always come with a title. You're a leader in so many ways. So I want you guys to think about this as well. Even though you may not have a leadership title, you can lead but also impact in so many other ways. So it don't always have to be where you're a director or you assistant director. You can be impacting your team as being a valuable asset to your team members. When your job or company or organization hires someone, you can help with the onboarding process. That's leadership in various ways. So I wanted to start off with this slide just saying lead with impact and not just title, and just 4 things to hit on. Vision setting. Inspire your team with a purpose they can believe in and a future they want to build. So as a leader, you got to have a vision so that your team members see that vision. Also, as well, empathy. Understand before you act. Trust and loyalty are built through genuine care. One thing many people say, a great leader is not what they told me, but how they made me feel. And so that's a great point to make as well. So just having that empathy and understanding before you act, and then trust and loyalty will build that respect so individuals are able to follow you as a leader. Decisiveness. Progress demands action. Great leaders don't wait; they move. So having that change management skills, having that those skills to say, hey, I want action. Like, and so if we want action, we're going to be called to action within SACAC, because SACAC Leads is like an incubator for leaders within the SACAC organization as a whole. So we want to demand action. And so many topics that we do discuss in SACAC Leads is taking that action. Like, how can we act on the various topics that we're talking about? Can you go back to the last slide real quick? Sorry, it went over. And then the last one, continuous growth. Best leaders are students first. Keep learning, keep leveling up. One thing that we do within SACAD Leads, like, we're always learning. We learning, just to talk about one topic from last year, we talked about AI, learning about the expansion of AI within college admissions. So we're always looking to learn about what's going on in our field, whether that's on the high school side, the college admission side, or the IEC side. Like, we're always looking to grow. So just keep these 4 points in mind when you think about, just leading, but also impacting others as well. So the benefits of the program, um, we listed like three big highlights, but there's so many benefits of the program. When I tell you that these three are not just the only three, but just to hit on these three, networking. You'll have the opportunity to build relationships with your peers, not just on the college admission side, but also the college counseling profession as well. So this give you opportunities to pick people brains, but then also to build that network. You never know who you may say, hey, I met you here in the SACAG Leads program. Let's collaborate, because you have great ideas, I have great ideas, so let's collaborate. Or you can utilize different tools. We had I was so amazed last year. I'm on the college admission side, but on the college counseling side, I had one high school college counselor told me about using ChatGPT for tours, and like how it set up all the tours for her college visits. And I was like, wow, that is so amazing. Like, tell me more about that. Like I want to learn more. So when we're talking to our ambassadors, hey, this may be a good route that this counselor pull off of Chat GBT. So just those small things that you can use, and you can build lasting relationships, because you just never know who you may need, or you never know who you can learn from. Also, it provides access to mentors and current SACAC leaders. One big component of SACAC Leads is we have faculty who will mentor our participants. And so this is a great way to learn from someone who has 10 plus years of experience within, either higher ed or on the college counseling side. And so you're able to have that mentor, someone to help you and guide you for your next steps, whether that's, moving up, moving out, or even, just finding a way within the SACAT organization. So just a great opportunity, easy access. You don't have to go out looking for the mentors. They're going to be there for you. So that's just another perk of the program as well. Also, encourage your involvement in regional events, expanding visibility and connections within the field. I always tell people, how do you want to be noticed if you're never visible? You have to be out there. You have to be involved. So if you're not visible, no one's going to know who you are. And so just like your organization now about branding, you want to brand yourself. So you want to be visible. So this gives you a great opportunity within the SACAT Leads to expand your visibility, so people know who you are. People are able to have conversations with you to kind of understand who you are as a person, but also who you are as a leader. And also as well, like I said earlier, when it comes to networking, it's just a great opportunity to collaborate with people who have the same interests. And opportunities and same ideas, so you can really just expand and learn more about the field. Another the biggest part is leadership. It equips participants with skills to step into leadership roles with SACAT and beyond. Like I mentioned earlier, this program is an incubator for leaders within the SACAT organization. We want you to get involved. We want you to take those leadership roles within SACAT. We want you to really, learn in our program, but also utilize the tools that you and resources that you learn within SACAC Leads to help the bigger organization. So I want you guys to think about the bigger picture of this program. So this is a step for the bigger picture of the program, and the bigger picture of SACAC. So just making sure that that you it's I like to say this. This program truly is a two-way road. We want you to, be involved, be active, be engaged, but then also too as well, we want to help you get to where you want to go within leadership within SACAC or your organization. So it has to be a two-way street. So we want you to be engaged, we want you to be involved within SACAC, learn more about the organization of SACAC, volunteer within SACAC, present at the annual conference. So this gives you the opportunity to be equipped with the skills in order for you to step into leadership roles within SACAC. Another big component of our program is the shadowing experience. This gives you firsthand insight into the professional or how professional organizations operate. So we typically will want you to shadow someone outside your field. So if you are a college counselor at a high school, we want you to take a step in shadowing someone who's on the college admissions side. So you could kind of, and we do and vice versa. So we want you to have that opportunity to kind of get some insight on, how do their organization work? What are the processes? What how are things ran at their organization? So just kind of give you a little bit more insight on that side versus the current side that you're on. So great shadowing experience. I believe this year we are requiring that every participant do the shadowing experience because we want you guys to get this full experience within our program. Also, active participation in the SACAC annual conference, offering opportunities to lead and be recognized. One thing I really enjoy about SACAC Leads is that at the annual conference you will be recognized, and so just give you that opportunity for going back to what visibility, so individuals know that you have completed the SACAC Leads program, which is a great program. I really think everybody should go through this program, but we don't have time for everyone. And then lastly, professional development. Um, we want you to, have that opportunity to meet virtually. And then the last session is going to be in person. And Megan's going to talk more about that. So I don't want to, take over her part. But also just to share this with you guys, I know many organizations have a budget for professional development. But this is a free, not free, but this is another way of professional development for you. Say for instance, if your organization may not have it in the budget for you to go to like NACAC or go to like a big conference. With this program, I think that this gives you another way of doing professional development, even if your organization doesn't have like a professional development committee on campus or at your location. This gives you another way of doing professional development, something to add to your resume as well. So thinking about that, you will get those developmental skills. One thing I love that we do every year is your strengths finders test. So you, as a leader, you want to know your strengths. You want to know what makes you a great leader. And so this gives you that opportunity to get those professional development skills. Also, as well, enhances knowledge of advocacy, governance, and organizational leadership in admissions. This gives you the opportunity to learn about the knowledge and what we advocate for within SACAT as a whole, organizational leadership, just thinking about like the leadership diagram of SACAC and just the different various roles within SACAC that you may be interested in. And so this gives you an opportunity where we can tap in with someone that's in that role to give you more information, tell you about the resources, tell you about the role of SACAC, rather that be like treasurer or president or on the board of directors. So like we can tap in easily with those individuals, and this will help with your professional development as well. And then lastly, springboard for career advancement by preparing participants in higher level professional responsibilities. We want to help you get to where you want to go. So here at SACAC, we want you to be the best. And we want you to, thrive, whether that's, on the college admission side or on the high school side. We want to help you springboard to get to where you want to go. I think at the end of the graduation, many people reflect back on the program and say, hey, I may now have an interest on this side of the desk. Or, hey, I may have interest in moving up within my organization. Or, hey, I've been thinking about doing this for so long. I want to do this within SACAC. So this is a great opportunity. And these are some benefits of the program.
Yeah, so this year, the application for participants and faculty will open in September. The selected cohort will then be notified in November, and that's both for the participants and the faculty. I do want to say, just to make sure everybody's aware, the cost of the program is $150. So the program actively runs from January through March. Attendance is mandatory because we only have 5 sessions. 4 of those sessions are offered virtually, except for our final session, which is in person at the annual conference. Which of course will be in New Orleans this year. So that should be a good time. There's also some additional out of class assignments, as well as Lorenzo mentioned before, like shadowing and meeting with your mentor. But our chosen participants usually have 5 years of professional experience and are active in SACAC. Our chosen faculty typically have at least 10 years of experience and progressive involvement in SACAC. So kind of to circle back on the highlights, Lorenzo's already talked about the benefits quite a bit, but I just kind of want to go in more depth because for me, my participation in SACAC Leads has been incredibly rewarding and educational. While the program is designed to develop and empower its participants, I've found that the benefits extend beyond just the 5 sessions. Every year that I've been a part of the program, I would say I learned just as much from the cohort of participants as they do from the program itself. And that's really because each cohort is handpicked to create a very dynamic group of insightful, forward-thinking leaders. The overall experience in SACAC Leads with the diverse perspectives within the group really help, I think, to foster an environment of shared learning where we can all idea share with one another. In my opinion and my involvement with SACAC Leads, I think the peer-to-peer exchange is one of the most powerful aspects of the program. And it really provides an enriching experience for both the faculty and the participants each and every year. And I really think it connects you to others within the organization that maybe you wouldn't have been connected to otherwise. So kind of to go through these a little bit further with the programs, Lorenzo already talked a little bit about the shadow experience, but I do want to say we've had folks do more than one shadow experience and shadow on either side of the desk. So some shadow another, like if they're a school counselor, they shadow at another type of school. Some want to see what jumping the desk will look like. So we'll have school counselors go to admissions office for a day, or admissions counselors go over to the school counseling side, which I think really benefits to get another perspective of the work that we do. Again, the participants are provided with faculty mentors to help them with professional growth, provide guidance, and just really be a sounding board, so that you have someone that you can relate to and talk to about your challenges and some of the things that you're excited to each and every day. And I think it really helps to plug you in to additional opportunities in SACAC. This program also helps identify your specific and natural talents in order to maximize your potential. Last year, we all took part, as Lorenzo mentioned, we all took part in an exercise with the Clifton Strength Finder and learned how to leverage our strengths by understanding our individual talents and how best to strategically apply them. Understanding your blind spots and finding ways to utilize your strengths more effectively to enhance your leadership style, I think is just so valuable to your everyday work, whether you're a CBO or whether you're an independent counselor or whether you're in admissions, like regardless of what area you're working in, or even just outside of your day-to-day world of work. Another thing is each year we have invited guest speakers that are experts in their area to speak on current innovations, trends within higher education, challenges we are all facing. And I want to just kind of highlight one of the highlights for me last year was we had two speakers, the Emilys, Emily Pacheco and Emily Smith, that serve on NACAC's Artificial Intelligence SIG and are experts in AI in education. And they came to one of our sessions to be a guest speaker and talk about AI in college admissions and really do a deep dive into how AI is revolutionizing higher ed and the work that we do. I found it to be a fascinating conversation. I think everybody learned a lot from that session. And so that's something that we're always trying to do and incorporate each and every year so that it's beneficial to everyone, regardless of where you are in your profession. And as Lorenzo mentioned, probably, our favorite session that is our final session, which is that annual conference where we're all able to come together. And it does also include a formal recognition of our graduates from SACAC.
All right, so busting barriers. So one thing that we believe here in SACAC, and SACAC Leads program, excuse me, is providing access and equity. So a big part of this, since we're both on the college admission side and on the high school side, is ensuring all students, regardless of background, have pathways to higher education. We really stand on that college is a viable option for any student, and we want to make sure that we're providing access and equity when we are, assisting students. Also, transparency, simplifying and demystifying the admissions process for students and families. I always tell individuals what makes my job, so much easier, and what helps. When we're having conversations within SACAC Leads, because there are going to be opportunities where we have those conversations where we want you to be transparent. We don't judge within this organization or this program. We want you to share your thoughts and feelings. We don't want you to hold back, because it's a safe space here when we do have discussions and talking about various topics. So feel as if that when you're in those class sessions, we don't want you to hold back or say, hey, I may be judged for saying this. No, we want you to share. We want you to be vulnerable, but also be transparent as well. Representation. Advocating for first-gen students, unrepresented students, and marginalized students. We don't want to forget about these students. So representation matters. And in our SACAC Leads program, one thing I love about the program is that representation is shown from participants to faculty. So there's so many different there's so many ways that many people are represented within the SACAC Leads program. And then collaboration. One thing we do heavy here in SACAC Leads is that we collaborate with one another. Whether that's in a breakout room or we in the whole group on Zoom, or when we at the conference, we love to collaborate with each other, building those relationships between like the high school counselors and the college admissions professionals, because this is the bridge. The bridge is the college admissions and the high school. So we're that bridge, collaborating with each other to make sure not just making sure that SACAC Leads is successful, but helping each other understand the college admissions processes, or just understanding the landscape of higher education as a whole. And then student-centered approach. We love to meet students where they're at. I think many of our conversations is, how do we get students to the next level? How do we help students get to, choose their major? Or how do we get students to, understand the admissions process? How do we get counselors to understand relationship building and, having that connection and that relationship with the college counselor or the admissions counselor? So having that student-centered approach, we always put students first. Whether you're on the college side or the high school side, students are the most valuable asset. And we have to keep that in mind. And then also advocacy and policy. We always looking to address systematic barriers that limit opportunity and fairness. I know one year we talked about like financial aid and the barriers that come with financial aid. I know my year we talked about DACA a lot. Students who are, not citizens or documented, excuse me. So we're always looking to address the barriers. Also, too, as well with AI last year, addressing, the pros and cons of AI. And so, really great conversations. But this is what we do here within SACAC Leads program is just, busting barriers, making sure that we have access and equity, being transparent, having representation, collaborating with one another, and having that student-centered approach while thinking about the different policies that affect us each and every day.
So I really want to take a moment to encourage you to apply for SACAC Leads and just amplify your leadership within SACAC. SACAC Leads serves as a development opportunity within SACAC to help you identify your specific talents, and also for us in SACAC to identify our future leaders. Our ultimate goal is that our graduates will continue to serve and strengthen SACAC with their ideas. SACAC Leads also serves as a way to become more connected in the organization, which Lorenzo has talked about a lot. But it can also be a way to give back to SACAC. Participants of this program are truly chosen because they are already viewed as leaders, and they're already connected to the pulse of SACAC. But our graduates of SACAC Leads are considered influential people who possess an understanding of the organization's current trajectory, and our industry's emerging trends. And so we really see our graduates as the future architects of our organization, that will ultimately shape its direction and contribute to its ongoing success. So I want to reflect on some of our SACAC Leads leaders. As Lorenzo said, we have a few here with us today, but one person who couldn't be with us today is Bill. He is a SACAC past president and a two-time SACAC Leads faculty member. And I'm not going to read all of this, but anybody who knows Bill knows how incredibly involved he's been in SACAC. He is the person who got me more involved with SACAC initially. I met him at an annual conference a long time ago. I was hoping to start what was called a mini camp college in my state of South Carolina. Now they're called college admissions workshops. And I had approached him and asked him if he had any advice for me on how I could solicit volunteers to help me with my camp college. And he invited me to the drive-in workshop committee. And I met a lot of folks who then helped me with my camp college, and kind of really got me more plugged into SACAC, helped me meet other folks within my state that were already doing the work, so that I could start collaborating in different ways. And that led to me, going to our state GovRel meetings, and eventually becoming a state chair. So what I really want to highlight is in the second paragraph, Bill said that he wishes he had had the opportunity of being exposed and learning about the various aspects of being a leader in SACAC and NACAC before he found himself in those roles. It really does provide immeasurable help and support to the individual, and provide SACAC with our future leaders. So I think that that's really important. And I love what he says at the end. And I just want to make sure that everybody's aware of this. You do not have to have a certain title or be from, the college, the school counselor side or the college admission side. CBOs, independent counselors, folks who work with our students. We all have the same goal, and we're all a part of SACAC, and you're exactly who we're looking for in SACAC Leads. You don't have to be, a dean of admissions or a vice president, although you can be and be a part of SACAC Leads. But we recognize that there's leaders throughout our field with all different types of titles. So please, do not be shy to apply for SACAC Leads and share your expertise with us. So here with us today, we have some folks. I would be remiss if I didn't start with Bartley, who is one of the founding engineers of SACAC Leads of this program. And I'll let him introduce himself and tell more about his experience with SACAC Leads and what he thinks is the value of the program.
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
And we can
Always
see you
my
too.
fear on a Zoom call or webinar. Thank you so much, Megan and Lorenzo, for asking me to be here today. I really don't feel like that I can say anything better than the two of you already have, but I'm going to say a few things still. So there's been a few references to me and Arlene. I'm sure many of you know that Arlene Outerbridge is the current SACAC president. We actually got to serve on the board together many years ago and only overlapped by maybe a year. But we both independently had this idea of kind of the missing middle of SACAC. SACAC has great onboarding programs through Dry Run and Summer Seminar. And of course, lots of opportunities to get involved later in your career. But we felt like there were a lot of folks who wanted to take on leadership roles who there wasn't a development program for them. There had been, but it had kind of gone away. And so we wanted to bring something back. And so that's how SACAC Leads came about, was by us each expressing this interest. And Jessica Sant actually kind of made the connection, and we got started. Now, early on, we were planning this in the fall of 2019 and the spring of 2020. So you can imagine that our plans changed pretty quickly, and that's how it became to be a pretty much virtual program. But that's worked really well for us. This has become a model nationally. I think Lorenzo mentioned this. SACAC Leads won the NACAC Rising Star Award last year for a program. And Arlene actually just presented to all other affiliate presidents about SACAC Leads and how it came to be and some of the benefits. So I just want to give you kind of 3 reasons why I think SACAC Leads would be great for you. One is that you can be part of this historical program. I do think that it is still early. It's still a young program. I'm so excited for Megan and Lorenzo to take over because I think that they have been involved and have seen the good of SACAC Leads and also how SACAC Leads could be even better. And so I think that you will get to experience that in this upcoming cohort. The second reason I think you should join SACAC Leads are the connections. Looking at the other panelists today, the only other person I knew was Megan before SACAC Leads. And I really didn't even know Arlene that well. And she's become one of my best professional friends. And Megan probably already was, but I didn't know Lorenzo or Pamela or Rose at all. And I also think that I think back to my earlier days in SACAC, and I would look at folks who seemed involved and seemed like they knew everybody. And I was like, how did they do that? And who are these people? And SACAC Leads has helped me connect with those people and get to know those people in a way that I wouldn't have otherwise. And the third reason I think that you should join is that Lorenzo and Megan did a great job of saying all the things that you will be expected to do. And it is a commitment, but I think that, I'm living in Common App world right now, and I'm thinking, how many hours a week and how many weeks per month did you do that activity? And so I'm thinking, okay, just roughly, I think maybe SACAC Lead, you're committing 3 to 5 hours a month, maybe between class meetings and meeting with your mentor group and maybe doing a shadowing experience. And I think that's a limited commitment for a really big return. I think that we could talk to you all day about how great SACAC Leads is and all the things that you could do. But until you experience it, you just don't understand that. And so I will end with something that Lorenzo said, is that I always started SACAC Leads meetings by saying, you are exactly the people that we hoped would be here. And so I would say today, you are exactly the people that we hoped would be at this informational webinar. So thanks for coming. And I know that there is a great cohort coming soon. So thank you guys.
Thanks, Barley. So our next panelist that we have here today is Rose, who Barley was just speaking about. She currently serves as a SACAC board member, but she is a SACAC Leads graduate and has done a lot within SACAC over the past several years. So I'll let her go ahead and introduce herself.
Thanks, Megan. Thanks, Lorenzo. And just for everyone, frame of reference, Megan was my mentor in SACAC Leads. And it's so funny that it's a full circle moment and I'm able to participate in the aftermath. And Lorenzo, congrats on your rising, or was it President's Award of Excellence? So the fact that Megan and Lorenzo are part of SACAC Leads just show you how growth and development can look like for anyone in different capacities. For me, myself, I'm a transfer mission counselor at Lynn University. So I work with a lot of students from the community college level, helping them with their post-secondary goals. And that means I might not have as extensive travel or extensive opportunities to meet SACAC community members. And so I think one of the things that was really great for me was the community aspect of SACAC and learning to meet people from various fields. I gained so much from our leadership opportunities. There was a session, I think that was my favorite, was when we got to do like a mini book club, and it was actually on Rhodes Perry's inclusive belonging, how to bring equitable, inclusive workplace practices where you are. And I actually got to use some of that research for my dissertation. So it's so awesome to see how the work of SACAC can be multifaceted, applied in different levels of your job or work or school. And even some of us are in the college counseling side, some of us are in admission, and just learning that the many things that we help our students with are what we need help with ourselves, right? We need help with the networking piece. Meeting people, for me, I think I'm a little bit more shy than most people on this committee. So I think it was great to just learn those tactics of how to speak, how to meet other people that you might not know, get more comfortable. And everyone that's been part of the SACAC Leads program, I get to work with much more closely now. Arlene, Bartley was in our program, Megan, just so many incredible people, Zaire. So you will run into many people over and over again. And I think that's what creates that community aspect of, we are a large organization, but we're a very collective and united group, and we really care and are passionate about making an impact. So that has led me to participate in as many things as I can, because as we know, service is so important in our field. And there's that famous quote that says, right, so service is beneath you, leadership is beyond you, right? So those opportunities and learning about what areas you're passionate, where you can maybe lend your expertise, has been a great way to feel more confident in saying, oh, I can help with this. This is service related, but honestly, you're paying it forward for those people that may have not had that chance before. So that has looked at different ways in our government relations. I've been able to serve as chair. I've been able to participate at the national level at NACAC Next, which is an equivalent of SACAC Leads, but more on the affiliate level in the national realm. And that's been amazing. So I think there are going to be several sessions that you're going to gain, whether it's from, a workplace mindset, an AI mindset, or data mindset. There's different fields and topics covered where I think it really applies to so many people in different aspects of their job. So that's a little bit about me, and I hope everything goes well with the new cohort, and I'm looking forward to actually being a mentor for NACAC Next. So I'm always excited to keep staying in touch and helping the next group of individuals into this program. So good luck.
Thanks, Rose.
Thanks.
And last but not least, we have Miss Pamela Bowie, who I've had the opportunity to work with in SACAC in a lot of different ways, and I admire very much. She recently served as SACAC Leads faculty, and she's here to talk to you a little bit about her role and what she found rewarding.
Yeah, thank you to Megan and Lorenzo for the invitation to join you all this afternoon to talk a little bit about my SACAC Leads experience. Bartley and Rose, definitely two tough acts to follow. And so I will definitely probably echo or reiterate a lot of the points that they've made and points made by Megan and Lorenzo thus far. But my name is Pamela Bowie. I did have the pleasure of serving on the SACAC board for 3 years as communications co-chair. That's where I met Megan. Ditto, did not know Lorenzo or Rose or Bartley before the SACAC Leads program. And now I definitely am blessed to know them and to see them at conferences and see them traveling and just have that connection with them. So the SACAC Leads faculty, I do want to shout out the 2025 SACAC Leads faculty cohort. They did an amazing job bringing such in-depth and insightful discussions to the SACAC Leads program. As Megan and Lorenzo have kind of told you about how the program works, and we do have 5 sessions altogether, 4 of them virtually. I was the lucky board member that got to lead the last session actually at the SACAC annual conference. So I spent the majority of the SACAC Leads program kind of sitting back and watching my fellow faculty members do their thing. And I learned just as much from those sessions as the participants. We definitely went through really a progression within the program of really centering, what is your leadership philosophy? How do your strengths really speak to your leadership philosophy? How do your strengths allow those skills that you may not feel as strong in? How do your strengths allow space for those skills to grow and be complemented? How can you continue to challenge yourself to be a barrier buster, to identify problems and really think about identifying solutions and being strategic? The AI conversation was amazing. To Megan's point, AI is here, it's not emerging, right? So not only what does that mean for us, but how can we as emerging leaders and people who want to be leaders on our campuses show up to those tables, to those conversations, and actually contribute significantly to those conversations? And then we talked a lot about communication and confronting our biases and making sure that we can bridge gaps between generations as we're working with our students and our parents and our colleagues all around the table. So the content was super rich for this SACAC Leads program. And so my job was really easy at the final session when we came together in person, which was definitely necessary, I think. Lots of hugs, lots of pictures taken between mentor groups and the group as a whole. But in that last session, we really kind of focused on, okay, we know all of these things about ourselves, right? And we've grown as leaders, we've identified strengths, we've really tackled some hot topics in the industry and talked about tangible strategies. What does that mean and how does that translate into your SACAC leadership experience? As you can see on the screen, a little bit about my SACAC experience. I am the poster child for just letting your yay be yay when it comes to SACAC experience. It's making those connections. It's taking that phone call from people that you know to be like, hey, I really think you should serve on this committee, or I think this opportunity would be good for you. And so everything from the governance and nominating committee, which at the time was really one of my first kind of, I say, grown-up SACAC leadership experiences. It was really intimidating, to be honest with you. I was newer in SACAC, but got that call from someone who I was connected with to say, hey, this might be an opportunity for you. And to be able to sit with seasoned folks like an Ed Graff, right? Who's been in the profession for decades, and have these conversations about what does SACAC leadership look like? Who are we going to recommend for the board? Who are we going to recommend for awards? That's what governance and nominating committee does. Somebody has to sit and review those applications and have that conversation. And I got to be a part of that. And it, took maybe a month 3 hours a week of my time, but what a rewarding experience to say that I was part of that process and to learn so much about that process. As state and area initiatives chair for Arkansas, Arkansas is a small membership state, right? So I had a lot of the same conversations as Megan did. How do I get people engaged? How do I get people to participate? But again, it was those connections, that network that really, helped me to be successful. So in addition to all of the great programming that we have in the SACAC Leads program and the amazing job that Bartley and Arlene did to move SACAC Leads out of the group chat and into a tangible program, and seeing Megan and Lorenzo kind of take that torch and continue it on into next year. If I had to summarize the best benefit of SACAC Leads kind of into one sentence, I would say it definitely expands your toolkit of resources that help you thrive in this industry. We're not here just making it surviving day to day. We want to thrive as we do this work and support our students and their families. And so SACAC has really been a way for me to do that. And SACAC Leads is a great program that puts intentionality to that thought, right? It gives you a structure to say, this is how we're going to make this happen for you. And at the end, we know that you are the future of SACAC leadership. And so at the end, how can we get you plugged in? How can we get you to the next step? Maybe it's presenting at a college workshop first, right? Or maybe it's presenting at the annual conference, serving on various committees, but how can we get you on that track? So SACAC Leads provides that knowledge, right, to not only grow you as a professional on your campus, but also just a professional in this industry, right? It can help you build your network. Again, you've heard us talk about not knowing people, right? Rose mentioning, as a transfer admissions counselor, not traveling as much, right? So you don't, organically build those relationships with people on the road. So giving you a built-in opportunity to build that network. And then it frames those next steps. In that last session, we really leaned into opportunities available for you to continue to develop as a leader, continue to shine as a leader you already are, and continue to build upon your leadership experiences through SACAC. And so I hope everyone on this call will consider applying, whether you're here because you want to be a participant or if you're here because you maybe want to be on faculty. Faculty is such a rewarding experience. You learn so much, again, as the participants do and as they're going through their exercises. I am still in contact with my mentorship group. We were actually just texting the other day because one of us had a professional move. So we were, doing all the congratulations and everything. So again, I hope you have found this webinar helpful. I hope that, again, you will take, our charge with you to seriously consider applying. And we hope to recognize you in next year's SACAC Leads cohort. Thanks again, Megan and Lorenzo.
Thanks, Pamela.
Also, before I start this slide, I do want to share this quick snippet. Pam, when I got my name called to receive the President's Award for Excellence, and I just want to hone on what Rose said about community. Pam was the first one that jumped up and screamed. So just like I don't know if you guys have any kids or anything like that, but if your son scored his first soccer goal, or your son scored his first touchdown, or your daughter won the gymnastics, meet, but it just showed me that it's not about just who you work with and collaborate with, but who show up for you. But I just want to shout out Pam. She jumped up and hugged me, and we were in tears. And like Pam said, we didn't even know each other before this whole program. But I know I have somebody who's going to show up for me. And Pam really did that for me the day I won the award. But I just want to shout out Pam for that. And it just shows that SACAC is a large organization, but this has helped you build a small community too, as well, within the organization. But to talk about this slide, former SACAC Leads, faculty, and graduates, 5 of our 5 members who graduated from the SACAC Leads program are on the board members are our board members, and our SACAC Lead graduates. An additional 4 board members have served as SACAC Leads faculty. This includes the current president and 2 board advisors, also past presidents. There are many more who we can talk about who are have become state chair, just like how Pam mentioned as well, and on her resume. Also, one of our 2024 SACAC Lead graduates was named the 2025 President's Award for Excellence recipient, and then 5 past presidents, plus our current president, has served on the SACAC Leads faculty. Excuse me, can't talk today. But this gives you guys the opportunity to kind of see what our SACAC Leads faculty have done and what our graduates have done. They're making an impact. They're being recognized. And so this is a great opportunity for you guys. So we just want to share that with you.
So we just want to point out as well, some of our recent graduates. This is our SACAC Leads cohort from 2024. And then in 2025, we had our biggest group yet. We had 15 graduates and 5 faculty. So that was us last year, celebrating after the last session that PM led. And so that kind of brings us finally to the last slide. Again, we really want to appreciate your time. I hope that you've learned a lot and this is something you're looking to pursue. Our application is going to be opening in September, so keep a lookout for that in the announcements. If you do have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to me or Lorenzo at sacacleads@sacac.org, whether it's about the time, the commitment level, as Bartley was talking about, and some of the requirements. We're happy to discuss that more with you. Or of course, if you have anybody you want to refer, please have them reach out to us as well. Thanks everybody, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Thank you all for attending.
Thank y'all for the invite.